What's happening in Iran? Today, Iran and the International Atomic Energy Agency have signed a groundbreaking agreement in Cairo, signaling a potential path to renewed cooperation and the relaunch of crucial inspections of Iran's nuclear facilities. This deal, brokered with significant diplomatic efforts from Egypt, comes at a critical juncture as European nations begin reimposing sanctions. Will this agreement be enough to de-escalate tensions and ensure transparency? We're taking a deep dive into history with Johannes Stern and Jordan Shilton's lecture, The Revolution Betrayed. They're dissecting the catastrophic rise of fascism in Germany in 1933 and the critical role played by the Stalinist Comintern and the Social Democratic Party in enabling Hitler's ascent to power. This is a vital look at how past failures continue to echo today, and why understanding Leon Trotsky's call for the Fourth International is more important than ever. The situation in Gaza is reaching a critical point, with Philippe Lazzarini, the Commissioner General of UNRWA, declaring it the graveyard of international humanitarian law. We'll explore the devastating impact on civilian life and the urgent need to address the widespread impunity. Is international law failing us, and what does this mean for the future of global conflicts? We break down the legal arguments and the real-world consequences. And finally, get ready for a development that could reshape international relations as Iran and the IAEA, with Egypt's backing, sign an agreement to resume cooperation on nuclear inspections, all while European powers reimpose sanctions. This is a complex geopolitical chess match you need to follow. Stay tuned for all the details, and be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you're always in the loop. Iran and the IAEA sign a deal to resume cooperation. This landmark agreement, signed in Cairo, aims to re-establish cooperation between Iran and the International Atomic Energy Agency, potentially paving the way for the resumption of inspections at Iran's nuclear facilities. Brokered with significant diplomatic backing from Egypt, this deal arrives at a pivotal moment, just as France, Germany, and the United Kingdom initiate the process of reimposing sanctions on Iran due to alleged noncompliance with the 2015 nuclear agreement. The agreement follows a period of strained relations, particularly after a recent conflict and Iran's earlier parliamentary decision to suspend cooperation with the UN nuclear watchdog. The specifics of the technical agreement were not fully disclosed, but IAEA Director General Rauf El-Grossi emphasized its importance for resuming indispensable inspection work. However, Iran has warned that any hostile act, including the reimposition of UN sanctions, would be seen as a termination of this new accord. This development is being closely watched as it could influence the ongoing international efforts to monitor Iran's nuclear program. Public reaction has been cautiously optimistic, with officials like EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas noting it as a crucial step for nuclear diplomacy, provided Iran implements it swiftly. Analysts are scrutinizing the potential impact on sanctions and the broader geopolitical landscape. Will this fragile agreement hold under renewed international pressure? Stay with us as we uncover the hidden details and what comes next after this crucial deal between Iran and the IAEA. Germany's past holds stark warnings for today. This lecture, The Revolution Betrayed, delivered by Johannes Stern and Jordan Shilton, delves into the catastrophic victory of fascism in Germany in 1933. It critically examines the roles of the Stalinist Comintern and the Social Democratic Party, SPD, in facilitating Hitler's rise to power, a stark lesson in political miscalculation and betrayal. Leon Trotsky's profound analysis, which led to the call for a new Fourth International, is presented as a pivotal response to these historical events. Germany, then the linchpin of the European class struggle with the world's largest organized working class, faced immense economic and political instability following World War I despite the strength of its socialist and communist parties, disunity and a fatal adherence to legalism by the SPD, coupled with the Stalinist Comintern's social fascist designation of the SPD, paralyzed the movement. Trotsky's strategy of a united front against fascism was ignored, leading to the proletariat's devastating defeat and the annihilation of its organizations under the Nazi regime. The lecture highlights how the Stalinist bureaucracy's nationalist agenda and the SPD's preservation of the bourgeois order paved the way for Hitler's dictatorship, underscoring the ongoing relevance of Trotsky's insights into revolutionary strategy and the dangers of centrism and bureaucratic control within workers' movements. This historical analysis is resonating deeply with audiences, drawing parallels to contemporary political challenges and sparking discussions on the necessity of principled revolutionary leadership. Can history's warnings prevent future catastrophes? Next, we confront the grim reality unfolding in Gaza and the crisis of international law. Gaza, the graveyard of international humanitarian law. Philippe Lazzarini, the Commissioner General of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees (UNRWA, has issued a dire warning. Gaza is becoming the graveyard of international humanitarian law. This powerful statement underscores the severe breaches of the laws of armed conflict, including the Geneva Conventions, that are allegedly occurring. The situation is so critical that Lazzarini fears what is happening in Gaza will become the new norm for all future conflicts. While acknowledging the war crimes committed by Hamas on October 7th and their subsequent treatment of hostages, the report points to plausible evidence of Israeli military war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza. The legal framework designed to regulate warfare, covering lawful targets, treatment of the injured, and more, appears to be under unprecedented strain. Despite the existence of international legal bodies like the International Court of Justice and the International Criminal Court, and arrest warrants issued, enforcement remains a significant challenge, with several opportunities to apprehend key figures being missed. This raises profound questions about the effectiveness and future of international law in conflict zones. This critical assessment has ignited a global debate on accountability and the future of humanitarian law, with many expressing deep concern over the implications for civilian populations in conflict zones worldwide. Will justice prevail when the law itself seems to be failing? Don't go anywhere, as we bring you the latest on Iran's nuclear deal and what it means for global security. International law under siege in Gaza. Philippe Lazzarini, the Commissioner General of UNRWA, has starkly stated that Gaza is becoming the graveyard of international humanitarian law. This critical assessment highlights a profound crisis in the enforcement of laws governing armed conflict, with accusations of war crimes leveled against both Hamas for its October 7th attack and the Israeli military for its operations in Gaza. Lazzarini warns that the current situation, if left unchecked, could establish a dangerous precedent, making international humanitarian law almost irrelevant and setting a new norm for all future conflicts. While the International Court of Justice and the International Criminal Court exist as forums for enforcement, the practical application remains fraught with challenges. Arrest warrants have been issued, yet key figures have evaded apprehension, raising questions about accountability. Historical precedents of leaders facing justice, from Nazi war criminals to Augusto Pinochet and Saddam Hussein, offer a glimmer of hope. But the immediate reality in Gaza points to a severe erosion of legal protections for civilians in conflict. The urgent need to address impunity is paramount to prevent the catastrophic prediction of international law's demise from becoming a reality. The international community is grappling with the implications of these alleged violations, sparking urgent calls for accountability and a reevaluation of enforcement mechanisms. Can the rule of law survive when its foundations are shaken? Stick around as we wrap up today's top stories and what they mean for you. And that's a wrap on today's essential updates. We saw Iran and the IAEA sign a crucial agreement to resume cooperation on nuclear inspections. We delved into the chilling historical parallels of fascism's rise in Germany, a lesson from Johann Stern and Jordan Shilton that resonates today. We confronted the dire warnings about international humanitarian law in Gaza, as highlighted by Philippe Lazzarini. And we covered the significant diplomatic move by Iran, the IAEA, and Egypt to restart nuclear cooperation amidst ongoing international pressure. Don't miss out on future breakdowns. Hit that like button, subscribe to Legends Nexus, ring the notification bell, share your thoughts in the comments, and follow us on all our social media channels for more exclusive content.